Fantasy Threesome FPL Podcast. This week, this is going to be completely raw, completely unedited, because quite simply we have no time. So no intro music, no outro music, unless Mike sings. No soundboard, sadly, but you're going to get the raw experience, and that is going to be a treasure for everyone, I imagine. I'm here with Mike. How are you?
Hello, yeah, very good, thank you. Prepping myself for basically the equivalent of, if you want to just cast your minds back to 1993, lads, a young Kurt Cobain rocks up at MTV to do Nirvana Unplugged. And that's very much how we're rolling this afternoon. Yeah, delighted to be here.
And how are you, mate?
Yeah, good. I mean, that does sound like we're doing this on a kind of similar scale. But yeah, just sad, mate. No soundboard this week, which is fairly sad, isn't it?
Truthfully, I had to put my car in for a service this morning, and I thought it was 8:45, and then it was about 7:30 in my house, and I realised it was 7:45, and so I had to just get out the door with the car. So yeah, sorry, a lady has just wandered into our warehouse, I'm parked in front of our warehouse and recording from a Kia.
Wow. Yeah. This really is raw.
To be clear, a Kia car, not from IKEA like they do on the adverts. You're not mid meatballs.
Oh man, if only I was. I wish as I was. I'm still on this diet with old Joe Wicks. Oh man.
Talking of Nirvana, you are looking very much like Dave Grohl's nan.
A compliment I'll take. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, I don't know if maybe there's some way we can tweet a picture of what you're wearing today.
That is incredible.
I mean, if I can explain what I'm wearing very, very briefly, the T-shirt I assume you have no issues with. I'm assuming you've got an issue with my cardigan.
Yes, primarily.
So I was on a Chinese website and I saw this knitted cardigan that was like rainbow colours. It was beautiful. It was everything I'd like in a cardigan. And I thought, that's decent value, that. So I bought it, and it arrived, and it's not remotely knitted. It's a polyester knit effect cardigan, but it is horrendous. So I don't ever wear it out. I keep it at work in case I get cold. I call it my Joseph jacket because it's every colour. And I wouldn't wear this in public, don't worry. Although I've just realised I went to Kia and picked up the car in it.
Wow, and good job. There's no video footage of you, for the whole of the world to see on YouTube. So
amazing.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So, how were our game weeks then? Ant, how'd you get on?
Well, I think if you told me about 2:00 on Saturday when the team news came out around the grounds, I'd end up with 60 points. I would have thought you were mad. I had TAA, of course. I think he's injured, so wasn't selected. Obviously, Ferran Torres didn't play for Man City. I jumped on the Marcel bandwagon at Wolves, and he decided to play rugby, didn't he, in the box? So he got a single point in the lunchtime kickoff. So I sat there thinking, where on earth are my points going to come from this week? Bear in mind, I was too tight to make another transfer, so I ended up with Dennis starting for Watford. I was thinking, where on earth are my points going to come from? So yeah, 60 points somehow, boys, which I'm pretty delighted with. Dennis, good old Dennis, did end up scoring for Watford, and what a good goal it was as well. So he got me 6 points.
Did you know that Dennis has committed the most fouls so far this season of any player in the Premier League?
I do now.
Okay, bit of a stat.
You are the stat man.
He's on the verge of a yellow most games, lads. Just be aware of that.
Yeah, well, there we go. So 6 points for him. Cristiano Ronaldo again. His price has gone up again, isn't it? 12.7 he is in the game now. And no wonder, because he scored again. Should have had 2 penalties. But yeah, 6 points for him. Pogba, Gray and Gallagher in my midfield with 2 points apiece. So quiet there. But good old Mohamed Salah, captained I think by about 2.5 million players. And it was the right choice for me. 12 points doubled to 24. Christensen came back into the Chelsea team, and he had a really easy afternoon against the toothless Spurs. He got me 6. And the joys of having a good bench, boys, or a bench that does well. Pinnock of Brentford came off my bench. 8 beautiful points. Luke Shaw is having a really quiet time at the moment with just 2. And then Sanchez in goal with a single point for Brighton. So, yeah, 60 points, boys, which is sneaking above the average again. I feel like I'm just plodding along this season. Nothing terrible and nothing great. But Yeah. So how did you do, Mike? I think you might have beaten that, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm living my best life, lads. I really am. I mean, I should point out that I spent 28 points to get to this stage, but I came in with a grand total of 70 this week.
I mean, hang on a second. I mean, you just talked that over like it's absolutely nothing.
That's more points than I've dropped in the whole season.
The most casual drop into conversation that you spent 28 points.
Yeah, it feels like a long time ago now because it happened obviously about 2 minutes into the previous game week. So we're going back some time now that it happened. It's like a distant memory. So yeah, 28 points, but weren't they well spent? Bought an Aaron Ramsdale in he's only 4.5 million, got me 9 points.
Unlucky Burnley.
I bought Ismail Assar in. Thank you for that brace. 15 points. I bought. Well, actually, none of my other players were successful. Actually, Digne is. I think Digne is perhaps along with maybe Traore, the most frustrating player to own on the game so far this season. With the fixtures he's had, he should be doing so much more. Came in with a -1 for me this week. So, yeah, not ideal. Marcel and Shaw at the back, 1 and 2. Moutinho came off my bench because Torres didn't play. That's the first time I've failed to Pep Roulette this season because, of course, I swapped Grealish out, who yet again started in the Premier League last weekend. But, yeah, Moutinho 2, Rafinha 8, Salah 12, and I was all set to captain Salah, but it wasn't my choice. It was the choice of FPL Matty, who picked Lukaku.
His name isn't FPL Matty. You did this last week.
What's his name?
Well, I have no computer in front of me at all. I have got a piece of paper which tells me the number of points I got, who I captained, and my punt for this week. The rest I'm doing ad hoc. So it's Matty James maybe.
I think it's Matty James. Yeah,
it's Matty James. Okay, well look, Matty James let me down this week. There's no bones about it because I sent him a screenshot thinking he's going to pick Salah. He went Lukaku, only got the 2, doubled up to 4. That's the first time Lukaku's let me down so far this season. And then he finally came good 2 minutes after I transferred him out. Ivan Toney got me 12 points.
I love that. I mean,
so
just to say at this point that our WhatsApp group on a Saturday afternoon is normally you celebrating a goal every 2 minutes. Oh, I've got him. Oh, I've got him. And me and Phil just rolling our eyes. It is a theme this season, Mike. You're getting it nailed on every week. I've said it at the start, but you're just having to use too many hits.
My Saturdays have been really successful. Like Saturday lunchtime to Saturday tea time, like I'm always coming away like feeling very, very good about myself. And then Sunday, I'm just continuously let down. Also, I had my bench for the first time. My bench was wrong. So I had White with 7 points of Arsenal, and I had Livramento with 5 on my bench. Had they come in, it would have been a much more successful week. But yeah, so 70 points. Minus 28 puts me 42. Yeah.
It doesn't sound as good like that.
No, it doesn't. But I'm set up. I'm set up for the next few weeks, lads, and I've only made.
You literally said that line last week.
Well, I've only made 2 transfers this week.
Ivan Toney, who just
Ivan Toney had to take out to. Why did I take him? I'm looking at it now. I don't know why the hell I took him out.
Maybe because they've got Liverpool this week?
Yes, it's their fixtures. They've got a dreadful run of fixtures, Brentford, coming up. So I took him out and replaced him with Timu Pukki before I'd known that Timu Pukki had scored at the weekend. And I bought in Andros Townsend as well. Ready for next week, going Chelsea-tastic.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you boys were able to load up our Twitter account on your computers or devices, whatever you're using. Mickey Race sent me an interesting message saying that he had done the maths on Mike's transfers.
Oh, no, Eddie. Okay.
And if Mike had have left his team as it was, he would have 10 more points.
Oh, Mickey, I love that.
I think it was 10 more points. If you could, he specified the details.
If you're doing this pod this week, can you tell Mike that his 7 transfers, it was only 7, minus 24 points, only gained 16 points. Then the 7 he previously had, costing him minus 8 points, I'm pretty sure I've worked out that correctly. 7 players bought in, scored 36, and the ones he took out took 20. And that's before White was left on his bench for 7 points too. Bit smug, Mickey, on the private message there. What I would say is that I'm building. I'm putting building blocks in place. I've got my Lukaku. I've got my Ronaldo. And next week, I'm going Alonso, Christensen, Mount, Oosh.
Oosh, who's he pay for?
He's a Wolf sub. So, yeah, anyway, Phil, how was your week, my friend?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I've had a bit of a rough few days, hence why there's radio silence on Twitter, and we're doing the podcast on a Wednesday lunchtime.
And you look like you're sleeping rough.
Yeah,
you do, in a car.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even have a chance to do my hair this morning when I realised I had to get out the door. Not that it looks much better.
I was going to say, it doesn't look any different.
Brilliant. So I barely saw any football over the weekend. I saw that Traore hit the bar, and Jimenez should have scored a header from a cross. But that's what happens every week to Traore. I watched the game on Friday. That was Leeds, wasn't it? So I was quite happy at that point because I had Bamford and Rafinha, and they both got some points. My captain this week, I gave over to my 4-year-old daughter, who said she liked the colour blue and picked Lukaku, which I wasn't unhappy about at the time, but now turns out that was a bad idea. I got 51 points, which means, and you say you're plodding along, I'm plodding along just slightly slower, and it's been a bit rough, really. Yeah, so I got a net. I took a -4, so I was on a net 47.
Interesting.
But if Mike's taken a -24, well,
20, it's -24.
Sorry,
he got 46.
Oh, yeah, I have. Oh, what?
So, I mean,
this is amazing.
What's really upsetting, and it's lucky that I've got bigger fish to fry right now, so fantasy football's just a little distraction. So what I really would be depressed about if I was really going serious this season is that Mike has, in the past 2 weeks, taken 48 or 52 point worth of hits.
52, I think it was.
52. He is still comfortably above me in the league.
Yeah, I am.
That's what he does.
And he's had a lot more fun. I
have had a lot more fun because yes, those transfers cost me, but the benefit is the following week I might not make a huge net gain, but I'm enjoying seeing my players score each week. Yeah,
exactly. And I've not had that experience this season yet, so I look forward to knowing what that feels like again. So yeah, 51, Captain Lukaku didn't work. I had Omabamidele, who didn't play after my big push on him.
Yeah, you did talk him up.
Yeah, you did.
Trent didn't play, but Duffy and Livramento, very surprisingly, both kept clean sheets. So they both came off my bench. Thank goodness.
Duffy, incidentally, the player with the most clearances in the Premier League so far this season. 29, and 23 of them have been headed clearances.
Oh, well, thank you.
Just a little bit of research this morning.
Either way, Mike, somehow that means you've lost despite getting 70 points. So you need to put into the prize hamper. Remember that the person at the top of our
any face cream
mini league will get the whole hamper at the end of the season. Mike, what you got?
Well, that's a good question. This has taken me a little bit by surprise because I was confident I'd actually beaten you.
Do you want to come back? Do you want to come back to this in a bit?
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know by the end of the episode what I'm giving away, and it'll be something decent.
Okay.
Not face cream.
No.
Okay, good.
And how are our punts?
Well, I had Ollie Watkins, who did nothing. Villa at home to Everton, which was annoying. When I saw they won 3-0, I was like, surely he's got to be involved in one of those goals. No. Mike, who was yours?
I've got no idea, lads.
This is a common theme as well.
Oh no, it was Man City.
And... Oh, I know who it was. Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, it's Bernardo Silva.
Yeah,
so he did nothing. So nothing for me there.
Phil.
Well, I had Raheem Sterling, who scored, but then had apparently the goal was disallowed. So you don't get points for disallowed goals.
Indeed, we all suck.
So it's a three-way, lads, to see who has our captain picked.
Indeed, bring it on.
That is correct.
You went very Kenneth Williams from Carry On Camping there, Phil, when I talked about a three-way.
I didn't say anything.
Your little face. You gave it a little face.
It does go well with his cardy.
It does. Can I go first, lads? Because I've got an absolute belter.
Anything goes well. Anything goes well with this cardy. There's so many colours on it.
There really is. It is hurting my eyes. Mike, please do fire away.
Okay, it's an absolute belter.
We should explain. We're doing a quiz now.
Please do. Yes,
it's the quiz. I won't do a live version of the intro song because I got a sore throat. But
that's the shame.
It's the quiz.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, right. Okay. So the loser of this quiz then will get their captain picked by a listener who correctly got a return on a player with 2% ownership or less via Twitter this week and nominated them to us. Okay, boys. There are 11 players with James in their name in the Premier League. But how many can you name?
Oh, God.
Okay, I'll go 4.
Sorry, James or Jamie?
Oh, okay.
James or Jamie?
5.
I'll go. You're such an idiot. Changing the rules. I'll go. No, I'll let you have them, mate. I'll just enjoy sitting back for a bit. You can have 5.
Okay. Daniel James?
Daniel James is there. Yes, indeed. Daniel James. We'll cross him off.
James Justin?
Justin James. Yes, indeed. There's
is that
2.
2 points?
No, it's not. How many Justins?
That is a shame.
I know we say his name twice. He's got James. Yeah, no.
Reece James?
Reece James. Very
one.
good. Gives you 3. 2 more needed.
Oh, Jamie Vardy?
Jamie Vardy is 4.
James Milner.
And James Milner
very good.
gives you 5. I'll give you the others.
Boom!
You could have had
James Rodriguez. That's the one I had.
James Rodriguez. You could have had.
Is it Tarkovsky? Is he a James?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I'm thinking of these now.
Yeah. Also, James Maddison.
Of course.
James
Where's he been?
MacArthur, James Tompkins, and James Ward-Prowse. Those were the remainders. So there we go. We've got a little bit of fun.
I like that one.
Good
Very
one.
good. Very good,
1-0
mate.
for me then.
Well, after your James, mate, you can sit down and I'll take over.
Okie doke. That's good. That's good. There's a really good indie pop pun from the 90s there. Very good.
Here to help. So, boys, as we know, I'm a technically gifted player who likes a through ball. So I'm looking at midfielders now who have got 2 or more assists this season. There are 11 of them, but they must be midfielders.
2 or more assists.
Yeah.
I'll go 3.
Okay.
4.
I'll let you have the 4, Ant.
Okay, 2 or more assists.
Yeah.
Paul Pogba. He got 4 in one game, didn't he?
Yeah.
Mohamed Salah.
Yep.
Ben Rama.
Yep.
Oh.
One more.
One more to find. This is going to be interesting.
It's all on this.
I'm going to go for it. Bit of a risk. Well, I'm not sure. Bruno Fernandes.
Oh, yeah, I would have said Bruno.
And with that, Ant, you've lost.
Oh! No way.
Boys, there's some
2 assists.
No, there's some surprises on this list. Let me tell you that for free. With 3 assists, you got Kovacic.
What?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Then you've got Decore, Salah. So you got Pogba, Kovacic, Decore, Salah, Bailey of Villa, Pascal Gross, Mason Mount, Gallagher of Palace, Townsend, previously of Palace, now at Everton, Stephen Bergwijn, and Ben Rama.
Wow, Bergwijn. Wow, hard luck, Ant. Hard luck. I would have gone Bruno. He was second on my little list here that I was scribbling down. So,
wow. So that's 1 to me, 1 to Mike. So basically, Phil, you have to win this now, and then we'll have another rollover if you do.
Yeah.
So mine, boys, a little bit boring actually, I have to say, but here is what it is. I'm looking for the top 16 players in the game so far. So 16 have currently got 30 points or more. How many can you name? Who wants to go first?
Well, I'll let Phil go first because he's losing.
Oh, it's very sporting.
I'll go for 4.
We're going really low end today, boys.
I'll go 7.
There is 60. Always jumped.
I'll go 8.
You can have the 8.
It's backfired massively. Okay.
Mike knew what he's doing there, 100%.
Yeah.
Right, Phil.
Right.
Off you go.
So Antonio,
He's third on the list with 39 points.
Benrahma,
Is equal, 39 points.
Bruno got a hat trick in one game, and I think he scored in another, so he must be close. Bruno,
Yep, he's there with 33 points.
Salah,
Yeah, top by quite a distance, actually. 50 points for him, so you're halfway.
well, Pogba's had 7 assists, so he must be there.
Pogba is there, yep. Sat there with 33 points.
So how many more do I need to find?
3.
3 more?
Three
more. It's true.
No pressure, but you need the 3, mate. Otherwise, your captain will be being picked this week.
Well, how many games have we had? Lloris has got loads of bonus points, but I don't know if he's over 30 points. Trent.
He's on there. He's 5th in the list with 34. 2 to find, and we will have a rollover.
Mane scored some goals. Who's been scoring for City? Torres. Did Torres score a hat trick? Ferran Torres. Did he score a hat trick?
Well, I'm not going to tell you whether he did or he didn't.
Yeah. I've got. Oh, have I said? I said Bruno, haven't I?
You've said
You
Bruno.
did. Yep, you said Bruno.
That is a shame. That really is. Lukaku, I don't think has been here long enough. Okay. I'm going to go Lloris.
Oh, just snuck in there. 15th on the list with 31 points. So you have, I do believe, 1 to find.
Oh, man. I feel this is deserving of a victory anyway.
This is a good effort, mate. This is a good effort.
I mean, this is massive. Right, okay. I'm going to go with Mane.
Boom. Mane is there. 30
well played.
points. Lovely old job, Phil. So there we go.
Oh,
Second
wow.
time in 3 weeks, I do believe. We have a rollover, gents.
So what
Okay,
does
so
that mean?
that means nobody picks our captain this week.
Okay.
Correct.
Lovely stuff.
What a shame, eh?
So the winner, so next week, 2 people will have their captain picked.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah. No, I like that.
brutal. Yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
because the winner from last week and
Yeah.
the winner from this
Oh,
week.
the double jeopardy.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay, cool.
Who's your favourite James, lads, in the world?
Mm.
Be
Bond?
famous
Okay.
or not? James Bond is your famous James in the world?
Yeah, I think so. Love
Okay.
it, James Bond. Bring on the new film, boys. Bring on that new film. That's about 20 months in waiting.
Oh.
Tell you who it isn't.
Go on.
James from Thomas Tank Engine. He was a crafty
Yeah.
little thing.
He was
Yeah.
angry, wasn't he? Yeah, a bit sneaky.
Always up to no good, that James.
Yeah. No, I'll come back to you on James.
If you could,
Really?
please. Yeah, when I reveal my prize, I'd like you to reveal your favourite James.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the moment I can't stop thinking about James Tarkowski, and actually I really dislike him.
Hmm.
So
Well, it's just Burnley, isn't it? Really?
yeah, exactly. Boys, do you want to know what my new little feature is?
Love to know that.
Well, it's going to come with some education for you. So it's education and a feature. So if I was to say to you that in the sort of 400 or 500 years ago in the UK, there was a fruit which people used to hire out. They used to hire a fruit. What fruit would you suggest that was?
How many years ago?
400 or 500?
Was Sean Dyche manager of Burnley at the time?
Yeah, very, very much so, yeah.
Hire a fruit. I'd say a lemon.
Hire a lemon. Okay, and
No, I've changed my mind. Pineapple.
he's gone pineapple. He's
Oh,
correct.
back
He's
scratcher.
correct. It is pineapple, not as a back scratcher though.
Ah,
No, it's just that pineapples were such a rarity, and you couldn't grow them in this country. and it was a sign of importance and wealth. A pineapple costs the equivalent of about £8,000 each today. And so people used to hire them out because they couldn't afford to keep them, and obviously they went rotten. So you'd hire it out and put it on the table at a dinner party, and a lot of these people would have never tasted the pineapple because they didn't want to. They can't say to people, "Yeah, I've had a pineapple." They can't show people they've had a pineapple. So anyway, people used to hire pineapples, and I thought that was very interesting. And I thought maybe we should look at if we could just pick a player just for 1 week and hire them just to bring them into our team for 1 week punt.
Good golly, Miss Molly, this is
this is a long-winded way of saying this, but I love it.
Who would it be? And so I've picked a player this week who I would suggest we should be bringing in this week on a 1 week punt with the intention of getting rid of them straight away afterwards.
So it's our pineapple of the week.
Pineapple of the week.
Okay.
And to start it off,
theme tune.
Let me give you Solomon Rondon. £6 million on the game.
Yeah.
You've got Richarlison out. Mm-hmm. You've got DCL out. So guaranteed to start. Mm-hmm. And I can't see it on because I don't have a computer in front of me. I think he's got a good fixture as well.
Home to Norwich.
Yeah. 6 million, boys. So I want you to get thinking about your pineapples of the week.
Pineapples of the week.
So you can have anybody.
I've got an expensive one, boys. Yeah. But looking at fixture, what about Jamie Vardy in the goals again at the weekend away at Brighton? They're home to Burnley, who do feel like they're in for a season of struggle. Leicester at home, they need the win. They've had a bit of a stutter recently. Could he be one to look at 1 week only? They're down in 12th, actually, Leicester, with only 6 points. Lost the last 2. They need a win here.
Yeah.
10.4 is expensive.
Good call. Mike, you play most like you're juggling pineapples.
Yeah, for sure.
Your team is regularly rotated.
I abide in the Pineapple Dance Studio. That's very much where I work. If I was bringing somebody in just for this week and this week alone,
because I imagine you have brought someone in for this week alone, have you?
Yes, Andros Townsend. But also a part enabler in that. I'm so down with the FPL terminology these days. But I would say Harry Kane. Because he loves playing Arsenal, and Tottenham are away at Arsenal this weekend. I'm still not convinced by them defensively, despite the clean sheet last Saturday. So yeah, for me, this is Harry Kane's game week. Okay,
that's a good pineapple. That
he's doing that thing again, isn't he? Where he takes him ages to score. He hasn't scored for Spurs yet this season, does he? In the Premier League,
no.
It all used to be he could never score in August. Now it's seeming to stretch out a little bit. So, but Arsenal, have they turned the corner a little bit, do you think?
They've got a couple of... they won 1-0, didn't they?
Yeah, it was nice to see VAR actually get something right the weekend, which was Ramsdale clearly won the ball with the penalty shout, and which was overturned. So, yeah, it was kind of an Arsenal of old, that wasn't it? They just ground it out. Nice free kick from Odegaard. So, I don't know.
So I've got a question. Sorry. No, well, it's not really FPL related.
No,
really.
It's fine. Nothing much on this podcast is.
Okay, I've just got a question. I actually made a note of this and screenshotted it on my phone because I was so just confused by the whole situation, really. If, and yeah, maybe listeners can help. If moths like light,
okay.
If moths like light so much, why do they only come out at night? Surely they'd have an absolute field day, if it was sunny.
Well, yeah.
I've got a theory. I've got a theory for you.
Go on.
Or a theory, if you pronounce your THs correctly. I believe it'll be something to do with predators during the day spotting them.
Oh, okay.
And maybe they come out at night as it's safer.
Could they not hang out on like bark and stuff because they're quite brown?
Yeah, that is true.
Like they're intelligent enough to have like been a caterpillar and like weave their own little coat and then push like the button that says turn me into a butterfly and then break out.
That is the story of the hungry caterpillar.
Like,
yeah.
That's exactly how it works.
They're intelligent enough to do all of that stuff, and then they're like, "Oh, light! I love light. Oh, but I'll only come out when there's just one light, or a street light, or someone's trying to watch TV." Like that, yeah.
I had a massive moth land on my head whilst we were cooking in the kitchen the other night, and my wife warned me it was coming, but ran away. And
Amazing.
it was big, really
Sorry,
big.
how
It
slow was
freaked me
it?
out.
How slow was it flying towards your head that she was able to warn you and get out of the kitchen in time for it to then hit you?
I think it says not something about the speed of the moth, but the speed of my wife when there's danger.
Right.
She was
She
very
senses it.
quick. Yeah,
Right.
she's good on that. So who's your moth FPL player? What FPL player is related most to a moth, Mike? How are you linking this to fantasy football?
Oh, well, I wasn't really. It was genuine. I just made a note because I thought I could ask you boys. I don't really get that much.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's fine.
If I was going to relate a player to a moth,
Only comes out at night.
only comes out at night.
Is there players out there who only perform
Jamie
on
Vardy.
evening
Jamie
games?
Vardy's always having a party, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's always
that's
out
true.
at night. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a
thanks.
final and a moth. So there you go, Jamie.
Yeah. So on that basis, get him in your team this week.
Yeah, the pineapple
Boy-
moth.
Should we have a look at
Boys.
this week's game week, lads?
Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it. Why
Okay.
not?
So I'll run you through the fixtures, and you can give me your thoughts. We'll go back to old school and just share a few thoughts, if you don't mind. Everton
Absolutely.
against Norwich then is our first game. A lot of oh no, it's not. That's
No, it's
ridiculous.
definitely not.
Just scroll my phone a bit more. The first game is 12:30 on Saturday lunchtime. Chelsea host Man City. It's a humdinger of a game.
It is. Game of the weekend is first, which is never good, is it? And Phil, you definitely won't be captaining anyone in this game, will you? Now you have the
Correct.
power.
Well-
We know your thoughts on the early captain.
I had the power last week and I gave it to my 4-year-old. So I might give her another chance, but let her know that she can't make it based on colours.
Man City continue to look
Yeah.
solid, as do
But-
Chelsea. I just wonder if this is a game for goal scorers or maybe a game for defenders.
Defenders, I think, isn't it? I mean, Chelsea for me are actually the team to beat this season, and City, I think, in the end, failed to get a shot on target against, with that late goal being ruled out, failed to get a shot on target against Saints, which is the first time they'd done that in a home Premier League game under Pep. There's a stat for you. So yeah, I mean, Man City again. Yeah, you would have expected them to just roll Saints over, wouldn't you? But Chelsea, for me, boys, they look really, really good. Flattened Spurs in the second half on Sunday, and I would be looking at more Chelsea assets. I think Mike said he's going to go Chelsea crazy. Is it too early to go Chelsea crazy this week, though, Mike? do you think?
Yes, definitely.
Well, let me change that theory slightly. Mike's view of going Chelsea crazy is chucking them all in now. But if you're preparing to go Chelsea crazy, most people might make 1 or 2 transfers a week. So if you're making a transfer
true.
a week, by all means, bring in a Chelsea player, because that will start building your Chelsea squad. Most people won't go, right, Chelsea got good fixtures, let's slap 3 of them in straight away and take an 8-point hit.
If you're going to bring one in, like, I cannot believe he's not got higher ownership. Marcus Alonso's gone up to 5.8 now. He is he's playing like almost like a number 10.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. He's
a
on all
machine.
their corners. He's on some of their direct free kicks as well. I mean, he's just brilliant, and they're keeping clean sheets, so I like him a lot.
Okay, so you can help me then, because I've got Traore, who, as everyone knows, is the biggest frustration, and he was the laziest pick I've ever made. I just chucked him in. He's 6 million, right? I'm better off spending 5.8 million on Alonso.
Yeah, but please don't, because I've just said it, and I want to claim him. I don't want you to copying me. I don't want you copying me. That'll really annoy me. So please don't do that.
So my theory is that I will swap out, I don't know, like Omabama Deli, that's not worked out great, or Livramento for Alonso, and then just get a dirt cheap midfielder and play a 4-3-3.
You won't be able to accommodate a 4. There are no 4 million. I was going to say 4 million again there. There are no 4 million midfielders. You couldn't do that as a straight swap with 2. You'd have to make 3 transfers.
No, because what I lack in points, I actually have money in the bank.
Oh, okay.
So I've got 500,000 in the bank.
Oh, you're set then.
Yeah, so I could do that.
Ollie Skip 4.5.
Thank you. I mean, my name's not Ollie, and I don't want to, but thank you. The theory, this like cheap midfielder position that I think a lot of people have been battling with the whole season, Traore or Gray or Townsend or whoever, Basuma, that money is definitely better invested in a defender who might get you a clean sheet every 3 games or something. I mean, a midfielder who's costing you 6 million isn't going to get you a big return every 3 games.
No. Correct.
So I would be better spending that money on someone like Alonso or Rudiger, and then I have another Chelsea player, and I've got a much more chance of getting a return.
Certainly, if you look at 6 million bracket midfielders, there's only really Sarr of Watford who's returned anything like any points. He's got 30, and the next nearest is about 10, 11 points.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. It's turned into a therapy session for me, but the fixture was what? Man City, Chelsea.
Yeah, Man City, Chelsea. Well, we've done that one to death, but that was good. That was good. Okay, next up then, also at 12:30, but not on television.
Pardon?
Why? Yeah, I have no idea.
That's never seen 2 12:30 games before.
No, well, it's happening. Man U against Aston Villa.
Okay.
Really?
Cristiano. I mean, if you've not got him in yet, why not? Why not? 2 price rises already week on week.
Well, he's had a week's rest, hasn't he? That my worry was, going into last week that he'd played in Europe.
Yeah.
But actually it didn't affect him at all. So yeah, having a week's rest, and at Old Trafford again. You'd be mad not to have him. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Mike, I think you're with me here. I think, Phil, you got some players there. Pogba and Shaw. Shaw, what I saw was talked about. Is it time to ship him out? He's not really returning a lot, is he? United are conceding a goal.
He's a make weight in my Chelsea-tastic week. He's a make weight. So I've got him for this week, and then he's off.
Okay.
I should say, and I think it's very important that I say this, if anyone has got a BT Sport account I could have use of on Saturday, that'd be good. Thanks. The BT Sport is £29 a month, and you get
I can hook a brother up there, Phil.
Okay. Well, you got BT all this time?
No, I've got a login.
Okay, sweet. Cool.
Which I won't be using because I'll be prepping for the really big game, Bournemouth against Luton Town.
Excellent. Cool.
Game of the weekend, that one.
Probably more of an offline chat, that one. But Villa looked dangerous, didn't they? Didn't Villa got a good win once they brought on Bailey?
Yeah, they scored some good goals as well, didn't they? But I think a guy I work with is an Everton fan, and he said that it was more that Everton were absolutely atrocious than Villa were particularly good. But United at home, I don't know, they're in that 3-4 horse race, aren't they, for the Championship? Yeah, Ronaldo, Pogba for me. Fernandes is actually doing okay. I mean, there's a lot of people who dropped Fernandes as soon as Ronaldo came in, but he's actually getting in the points. I'm still amazed he hasn't got at least 2 assists so far this season, but he's still looking pretty good.
I'm disappointed by Sancho, I have to say. I had high hopes for him at only 9.5 mil. I thought that he'd be a great asset for United, but actually so far he's just taken a little while to get going. Didn't start for them last week, so
feels like a forgotten man actually.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Odd. They paid a lot of money for him, and he was there. He was the landmark signing before Ronaldo became available, and you kind of expected him to be in every week because they've been chasing him for years. So you would have thought they'd have a plan for his position. Maybe they just think Greenwood's undroppable the form he's in, and with Ronaldo there now, but it's very strange, isn't it? And Lingard's getting minutes as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
I mean, Greenwood is still great value at 7.5.
Yeah,
really good value. So yeah, he might be worth a look. What about Everton, Norwich? And we've kind of touched on this one a little bit. I've bought Townsend in, especially for the occasion. I've also bought Timo Pukki in, but at the moment he sits on my bench. I think he's going to end up, ironically, replacing Digne in my team because Digne looks like he's injured. 75% chance of playing. He's got a calf strain. Norwich have looked pretty appalling, and I know we're only 7-8 games in, but you look at the result at home to Watford at the weekend, and that was fairly ominous, I thought.
It was a bit of a killer for him, wasn't it? It was a bit early to call it a 6-pointer, but it was really, and Watford looked a lot better. No, Everton, I think they lost as well in the cup, didn't they, last night to QPR? Everton as well.
Yeah.
So they're on a little dip of form themselves, but I think Andros Townsend is a great little shrewd signing, Mike. Under 2% ownership. He scored an absolute beauty, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago? I think that's a really shrewd signing. You'd still expect, despite them being out of form, Everton to win this game, especially at home. Unfortunately for Norwich, they're turning into West Brom a little bit, aren't they? Up and down, or Fulham as well, up and down between the Championship and the Premier League. They look too good for the Championship and definitely too poor to be in the Premier League. So, yeah, Everton assets, boys, this week. Would it be a week to have 3 Everton assets, do you think? Or is that a bit too much?
It depends. I mean, if you were playing the game like Mike, and genuinely, I know some people will do this, where you don't really matter about the hits. If you were playing like Mike, would you just follow Norwich around all season and just make sure you had 3 players of whoever was playing Norwich? Mike, that's mainly a question for you.
Yeah, probably. Well, I haven't done this week. I've got 2, because I don't want Salomon Rondon in my team. Really,
you don't like pineapples?
No, a bit expensive for me.
Did you know that pineapples are the only food that they, when you're eating them, when the pineapple is in your mouth, the pineapple is actually eating the inside of your mouth.
That is fascinating.
There's
That's
a word,
really fascinating stuff.
There's a word for it. There's a word for it, like mommamarium or something. But the pineapple.
You sure that's not what people just say? They got Mama Miriam.
It might be, but it actually digests the inside of your mouth as you're chewing it. So then, when you swallow it, obviously it stops. Otherwise, you'd have no mouth. But I imagine if you kept a pineapple in your mouth for a number of weeks, then eventually the inside of your mouth will deteriorate severely. Genuine fact.
Well, I mean, even by our standards, this is going off on a tangent this week.
Leeds against West Ham, lads. Leeds against West Ham. Rafinha is a doubt, which is a worry for me as well.
And me. And Bamford's also a doubt.
I really like the look of Rodrigo against Newcastle. I thought he was excellent. I thought
no points for dummies. That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, there wasn't. I was amazed that they didn't really mention that too much. That was a brilliant bit of play for Leeds' goal at the weekend. They really didn't get enough airtime.
Yeah, Rodrigo 6.3 million. He's a striker rather than a midfielder, but it might be worth a look. I really like the look of him. He was involved in, like I say, in everything good that they did. West Ham.
Is there going to be a hangover from the weekend with the whole Noble disaster there, bringing him on when he'd not touched the ball and he missed the penalty? They could live to regret that. I think that was a strange decision, especially when you had Declan Rice on the pitch. Ellen
Road, it's a tough place to go.
It really is. Leeds have been conceding goals this season. I don't think they've kept a clean sheet yet. So
I got a feeling Souček's going to get on the score sheet this weekend, I think.
He's been quiet, hasn't he, though? He has been quiet. Okay.
What's next? What are you going to do with? Because I've got Rafinha and Bamford, and I don't plan on transferring either of them out.
Well, I've got Rafinha, and I don't plan on transferring him out because I think he's a keeper for the season for me at the price he is. And they always, traditionally they will always score goals, Leeds. So I'll keep him in and just sit it out. I can't imagine he's going to be out for more than a week or two.
I love Bamford, but he got played through. Again, I think that was from Rodrigo pass on Friday night, and he didn't hit it with any conviction. He doesn't look as hot as he was last season so far. Maybe he's going to take a while to get into the season. The only goal he scored was he touched the ball as it was on its way in, didn't he, the other week? I'm a bit worried about having an £8 million Patrick Bamford right now. It's a lot of money, especially when Adam Armstrong Saints this week. I'd be tempted to get him in if it didn't mean taking a hit.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to Leicester Burnley then. Burnley, 3:00 kickoff again.
Jamie Vardy.
Leicester you've already flagged him up, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Leicester assets is not a lot, boys, is it? Just looking at their total points, Vardy on 29. Then you have to go to Schmeichel on 19, Tillemans on 19. I just mentioned earlier they're sat there kind of mid-table this season, having a bit of a struggle. And big names. I mean, when you would go back to the James quiz, I'd forgotten about James Maddison. He's another forgotten man this season. Harvey Barnes back from injury but doing nothing. Leicester having a bit of a quiet start, aren't they? But if they're ever going to get back to it, this could be the game at home to Burnley.
They yet to hit their groove, but they've got players that will come good. They've got players that squad is far too good to be struggling in the way that they are. Burnley, on the other hand, are probably in a more realistic position. I think they've got 1 point so far this season. I worry, though, that they'll sit in against Leicester, and that doesn't suit Leicester.
No, this is the type of game.
They like to hit teams on the break, don't they? So you mentioned Vardy. I know you flagged him up, but actually Vardy is at his best when he's running at defenders on the break. And I don't see him having much opportunity to do that with them having 4, maybe 5 players camped on the edge of their box for the duration of the game. Not sure.
What does Iheanacho got to do to get a bit of game time? It's crazy. Last season, Leicester hit form when Iheanacho and Vardy were together. I don't
Mhm.
understand why. I mean, or Daka. I mean, I
Yeah.
assume Daka didn't play. I honestly couldn't tell you who Leicester played last weekend, but I'm amazed that he hasn't had more minutes.
Ian
Yeah.
Atcher's played 82 minutes this season, boys.
What
Wow.
about Pats? What about Patson Daka? Has he played much?
Let me just have a quick look. Blimey, I mean, has he got any points? Oh, blimey, yeah. I mean, he's got 1 point, boys.
Right.
He's played 26 minutes, which was actually only in the second game away to West Ham.
They've got a wealth of options there.
Not played a minute of football since in the Premier League.
I find
Strange
that very, very odd. Yeah.
It'll turn.
Okay.
It'll turn for them. Watford, Newcastle.
No, you've got
Goals.
Sarr, haven't you? You've got Sarr, and you've got Dennis Ant. So
Yeah, I've got Dennis, who I purely kept because I'm too tight to make a transfer. And when he scored, I could not quite believe it, boys. So sometimes it just shows stick with what you've got.
yeah, there certainly is an element of that, and I'm sure Traore will score this week. But we've all had fun. But Dennis, you sent us your squad over, a screenshot of your squad on Friday night. I think that was the night of Mothgate, and and we both mocked you horrendously for having Dennis in your team.
Quite rightly so.
And then he went and scored. Josh King, he's set that goal up, didn't he? Set a goal up.
I
Yeah.
was just going to say that Mike was banging the drum for Josh earlier in the season, and he looked really good, didn't he? Did what he did quite well for Bournemouth, got him behind the back four, set up one of Sarr's goals, didn't he? He's only got 0.6% ownership, boys, 5.5 million, but he's already up to 14 points. He's not played that much. 90 minutes, first 90 minutes for him was at the weekend, so maybe he's one to look at if you're looking for a cheap striker option.
If I was to take a -8, which is scary, I could go Bamford.
Who's
to
ill?
Josh King.
Okay.
And that would free up about 2.5 million. And then I could throw Traore into a skip somewhere and then sort my defence out as well. It's just how much a -8 will affect me.
Mentally, probably not great. What about?
I don't care about that. My mental health's all over the place, so I can't make it worse. So I might do that. I might put in Josh King.
You two were both lauding this player on our WhatsApp group on Friday night. What about Saint Maximin, who had scored?
My goodness, I love him.
He was an absolute live wire, wasn't he?
Yeah,
incredible.
he is. Every time I watch him, I just think, how is nobody taking him? How? Because actually, you'll sell him cheap.
Yeah, it's got to be the injury record. That's the only thing that can put people. I watch Saint Maximin, and he makes me feel like I'm a 10-year-old football fan again. He is everything. Like, if you imagine when we were younger, and some people listening to this might be young still, so enjoy it because you get old quick. If you go to the game and you've got your favourite player there, and that player is so good with the fans.
Yeah,
he's so good with the fans, and he just loves it. And he's so exciting to watch. He's everything you want in a footballer, and it's just so frustrating. He plays for Newcastle.
I mean, pot, kettle, and black, but he looks like he's carrying a bit of weight.
I don't care. He could literally be carrying dumbbells whilst playing. He'd still be entertaining.
Yeah, no, he is. But I just wonder if that's maybe one of the things that he
he's a bit up and down though, isn't he? He's a bit hot and cold a little bit.
He's brilliant. I just think he's just fantastic to watch. But as an FPL asset, I don't know.
What are Newcastle's fixtures like?
Yeah, so they've got Watford, then they've got Wolves, then they're home to Spurs, and then they're away to Palace, and then they're home to Chelsea. So a bit of a mixed bag.
Well, they
haven't got a rating of a 4 on the difficulty on a fixture until the end of October, which is Chelsea. So possibly one to look at.
Yeah, he's a fun player. It'd be a fun player. It'd be a fun player to have in your team. I'm not sure how possibly be. Then we move to the tea time kickoff on Saturday. Brentford host Liverpool. Can they replicate that opening day game when they, a big so-called big team came to town and take the victory? Brentford against Liverpool. What do we think?
Yeah, I'm seeing Mane. I'm seeing Mane here giving Brentford troubles, and he's a player that they haven't had to face the likes of so far this season. I reckon Mane could have a bit of fun here.
I think Liverpool are going to win, but I think obviously I think it's going to be a really tight game. Brentford have done really, really well so far, haven't they? They look like they're going to stay up comfortably at the moment. I know it's very early days, but they look a good asset to the Premier League. This is the type of game I think Liverpool will win. through a moment of individual brilliance. Mohamed Salah maybe with a 25-yard free kick to sneak it 1-0. And I think Brentford will frustrate them. They'll keep it tight. And actually, I think this is a game that's not going to have many goals. Liverpool to sneak it, but I think it's going to be a closer game than people maybe imagine here.
I've got a theory.
Go on.
Salah won't play.
What, being rested for Champions League?
Yeah, they go to Porto. They fly out to Porto to play them on Tuesday. I've got a theory that he'll look at Brentford as a game where he might be able to mix it up a bit. He's not mixed it up. He's continued to play Salah and Mane throughout so far. I wouldn't be surprised.
I hope you're wrong, because for me and many Salah owners, that'd be horrific.
Who comes in for him though, Mike?
Well, you've got the boys that played midweek in the cup game. You've got the likes of Minamino. You've got Origi. You've got Firmino. You've got I mean, there are lots of options there. Jota can play.
Chamberlain.
I've just got an inkling that he won't play on Saturday.
Well, I was going to ask, is Salah, nailed on captain pick this week? But obviously not. If you're now setting doubts in my mind.
I don't want him coming off the bench with 15 to play, because they're still at 0-0 or they're struggling at 1-1.
I think it'll actually be a high scoring game now. I don't think Brentford are going to sit back. I don't think that's what they do.
Yeah, you might be right. Okay, let's move to Sunday. Sunday lunchtime. Maybe 2:00. Southampton host Wolves.
Well, Saints are doing better than we thought, aren't they? They looked like they were surefire bets to get relegated, but fair play to them. They've got some good results. They've drawn at home to Manchester United. They've drawn with Man City at the Etihad. Not many teams will do that. Someone like Livramento, he's still one that people are kind of jumping on the bandwagon. Phil, you've got him.
Yeah.
Wolves, again, looked toothless at the weekend, didn't they? Brentford saw that out comfortably. So Wolves are struggling to score. So maybe some defensive assets here on Southampton.
Well, we've all kind of fallen for the Wolves have got amazing fixtures coming up. Let's get in Wolves players. And it's the age-old form over fixtures thing, isn't it? Because they might have some easy fixtures, but they're not doing great.
No.
Are they?
No, they're really not.
And every one of their players seems to be frustrating. Semedo, the other week, hit the post twice or something. He had bags of chances. Traore hit the bar. Jimenez can't hit anything. And I saw he threw off his headband in anger or something the other day, didn't he?
Oh gosh, be careful, please.
Yeah. So I Adam Armstrong. He's my he's my slightly smaller pineapple this week.
Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, good shout.
If ever I look at a Saints game and I think, that's winnable, Ward-Prowse is my go-to.
How much is Ward-Prowse now?
6.5.
Okay.
How is he still playing at Southampton? They've done well to time down to that new contract, haven't they? You would have expected him to leave to a bigger club by now.
He's not spectacular, is he?
I don't think he's a great. He's not. Yeah, exactly. He does a job, but he's not a great footballer. He's great at set pieces.
He's a better FPL asset than he's a better FPL asset than he is a footballer.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Okay. 2 games left to preview and 4 minutes in which to do them. Arsenal against Tottenham. It's Harry Kane territory, as I've said. Your thoughts, boys?
Yeah, I think I'd like to watch this one without any players from either team. You've got Ramsdale, haven't you, Mike?
Yeah, I've got Ramsdale and I've got White if I need him off my bench.
I've got no assets in this game at all here, boys. None at all. And there's not too many to stick out. Maybe, Odegaard's still cheap, isn't he? 5.5 million, 2.1% ownership. Brilliant free kick at the weekend. Possibly one to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting that he's on free kicks.
Yeah, you talk about cheap midfield assets. He could be one to look at. Ramsdale, Mike, I've got to say, this is what Mike is doing really well this season. I don't want to blow his trumpet too much.
Thanks, lads.
But he's picking out some really good assets that not many people have, and Ramsdale was one of them. He's come in. Not many people expected him to take Leno out of Arsenal's goal, but he's done it, and he's doing really well. So, again, I think this will be a tight game, boys. I think it'll be a tight game. It's an interesting one because Arsenal just picking up, and Spurs last couple have had some tricky results. So, could go either way, this one.
Okay, and then finally, it's the M23 derby, Brighton Crystal Palace at Crystal Palace
on a Monday night, isn't it?
On a Monday night, 8:00.
Brighton have had a fantastic start to the season. Pascal Gross got 2 assists so far. Trossard's looked dangerous. I don't know if he's
Trossard's looking more and more like. I don't know if you've seen the new film. Everybody's talking about Jamie.
Yeah, I've seen adverts for it on
the
the
two
TV.
of them look very similar. But that's a bit of a left field.
This will be a fiery one, isn't it? Is this a game where you're looking at probably one of the two teams not having 11 men at the end of the game potentially here?
Mopay will get sent off, of course.
Yeah, it's going to get fiery. Any assets here, boys? You might be looking at?
Well, Sahara sparkled for Palace again. No, but he has and Vieira is really talking him up.
Really?
How much is Welbeck? I mean, you know when your season's going bad and you say how much is Welbeck. These are the sort of thoughts you're having. But how much is Welbeck?
You did say this last year, and then you bought him in.
And shall I tell you what was a bad decision? That.
Yeah, well, don't do it again. 6 million. I mean, that is 6 million. Oh, it's absolutely crazy talk.
Oh, not when you get Adam Armstrong or Josh King or even Ron Dennis. Yeah.
I mean, Zaha's only had a return really in one of the 5 game weeks so far when he got 12 points against Spurs. Other than that, 2, 3, 2, 2. So for me, he's been quiet. I mean, if you're going to go midfield for Palace, I'd rather have Conor Gallagher, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
15 points against West Ham, 8 against Spurs. Just looks like a really good loan move for him. So I would rather go him than Zaha, personally.
Gallagher's playing that sort of Lampard role, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he looks a real talent.
He finds a pocket of space. I really hope he gets a run for Chelsea next season. I really do.
Yeah, he won't, but yeah.
Okay, cheers. but Mason Mount went out on loan, didn't he? And although he was with Lampard, so maybe that helped him get his foot in the door.
So there we are, boys. We've reviewed all the fixtures, we've looked at them, but now you need to pick a player of less than 2% ownership who you think is going to return for you this week. I'll go first because I'm talking. Cool. We've already mentioned him a couple of times. He was part of the oldest team in over 5 years to get a victory at the weekend, playing for Watford. Joshua King, 0.6% ownership,
good
home
shout.
to Newcastle.
Nice. Can you tell me his fixtures moving forward, please?
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice, which is why I've got Ismail Assar in. Let me just tell you. And who's your punt? And I'll tell Phil.
Well, I'm amazed you've not gone for this player, Mike, because you brought him into your team this week. Andros Townsend.
Okay, yeah.
1.9% ownership. I think he's a really shrewd little buy you've got there, especially with Burnley at home. Norwich at home. Hoping he returns. We've not had too many punt wins this season, boys. We're not doing too well at this game, are we? So we need someone to win it here. Phil, who's yours?
I'm not doing too well at FPL either. It's interesting. I had a quick look before I came out here. There's some huge names under 2% ownership. You still got De Bruyne, who's like 1.6 or something. But I'm going to go for Andy Robertson of Liverpool, hoping that he's fit well.
He's created the second most chances despite only playing 2 games.
That's a stat, isn't it?
Well, I'll try.
It's not pineapple chat, but it'll do. Mike, tell me Watford's fixtures.
Watford's fixtures look like this: Newcastle, Leeds, Liverpool, Everton, Southampton, Arsenal. So not too bad. Not too bad. That Liverpool game, they're at home as well, and they have quite a good record against Liverpool. So not too scared by that. Your favourite James, Phil?
My favourite James is gonna have to be. Come out. How much time have I got? Because I'll level with you. I haven't put any thought into it.
You've got minus a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Already a minute over.
James Brown, because he feels good.
Yeah.
Very
good.
Nice. Okay.
Get up off of that thing. And my prize this week going to the hamper is a brand new spiralizer.
Oh.
So.
Where the heck have you got that from?
The man who does
Amazon.
the prizes.
Amazon. I've just purchased it. I spent £8.50.
I'll level with you. I could do with making some courgette. So cool. Yeah, spiralizer, good time.
It does kind of beat the bandana and the face cream.
Oh, shut your face! So, the face cream isn't in there. The face cream got cut somehow.
Just to be clear, Phil said he'd like to make some courgette spaghetti. Phil can't win this. Only you, the listeners, can win this by entering our league. And I don't know the code, but we'll do it next week.
It's on our Twitter. It's on our Twitter feed, FPL Threesome Pod.
Yeah. Unbelievable standard, by the way, just very quickly, boys, on our league. I've just got into the top 400.
Well, the person at the top, and I checked this earlier, is about 800th in the whole world.
Wow.
Which is even higher than me.
They really want that.
At the moment, they're working their way towards a Nigel Mansell autobiography, a bandana, and a spiralizer. So Yeah, keep on fighting. Chaps, thanks very much.
No, thank you, Mike.
It's
Lovely
been an
research this week.
absolute pleasure, and hope everyone has a great week. Sorry we're recording so late.
Cool.
Much love, everybody.
Have a
Cheers,
good weekend,
guys.
everyone.
Take care.
Bye
Bye.
for now.